1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
How would I know if you can hear me?
1 2 1 2.
How would I know if you can hear me?
2. Okay, now I know you can hear me. Right. So that's gone well, hasn't it? That's gone well. I'm glad that I titled this stream brand new noob stream. First list tier title bears. Yeah, I know you can hear me now. I'm pretty confident because I've got this other window with my stream. Yeah, if I unmute I know you can hear me now. I'm pretty confident because I've got this other window. You can hear me talking a couple of minutes in the past. So yeah, that's good, isn't it? We've done that. But what am I talking about? You just seen the pictures. Well, maybe the pictures have been enough. Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. If no one's watching, then I can just edit this for the YouTube video and just start from now. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So, hi, you're with Scott. This is streaming time. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear because this is mono. I'm partaking of an alcohol-free fake beer, non-branded, not pushing any brand. It's just an alcohol-free beer. So, and I'm talking to you about bears. We are gonna make a tier list about bears. So we've got this window here with the bears, where we can look at the bears. I've only got one monitor, so it does take me a little bit of time to jig around the windows. But we've got this window for looking at the bears, okay? And we've got this window. I have to flip around in my... Okay, hang on. You'll love this. Can you hear me on the other one? Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. See if we can do this. You ready? I'm going to fade between the two. Super crossfade. Look at that. Smooth. So we've got this other window where we've got the tier list maker, and I was just saying I've changed all the colours around because green should be at the top. Green's the best colour, and probably the worst colour is purple. And I know it's subjective and there's no such best and worst colours, but if you look into it, which we will do one day on stream, I'll react to the fact that colour isn't a purple. Oh, purple isn't a colour. Trust me on that. You'll find out more in the future. But yeah, purple. I mean, if it's violet, violet is on the spectrum of light. So maybe violet, maybe it's not the worst. But anyway, green at the top there. And we've got the 8 bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bears. And what we're going to do... Let me just check you can hear me on the tier list. Hey. Oh, I've got like a million windows. Where's the tier list thing that you can hear me? That's what I want to know about. Here we are. Ganji Kid's Twitch. Ganji Kid on Twitch, because it's my gamer tag. I'm True Binaural and ASMR on YouTube because I started a True Binaural and ASMR channel. So I just named it after what the content was. And I'm also Battery Exhausted on Twitch because I started a sort of YouTube, because I started a sort of lifestyle-y YouTube channel, videos, vegan, vloggy thing. And the camera used to say Battery Exhausted all the time. So I just used it as my title. And Ganji Kid is my gamer tag, and it always has been since the days of the N64. So that's why that is. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. See, I didn't even know you could hear that. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. I didn't even know you could hear that. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That. Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That. Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
What's happening?
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? I was checking you could hear me. You can hear. That's what I was saying. That.
This is what's happening.
Hang on. What was I saying? All right. Saying. All right. Are we still live? Is it working? You can hear me? Yeah. Okay. Just having a little bit of fun. No one's watching. So we're aiming for 5 followers. 5 followers would be nice. That would be a little mini target that we could go, oh, come on, whoa, hit that target. 5 followers. But let's get on with the actual content, the Bears tier list. I am going to cut this for a YouTube video for True Binaural. It won't be binaural. It will just be monaural. So, but I'll artistically rework the edit through a process of iteration that I've been playing with for the last few years, which is art. Honestly, if you iterate on an idea and a theme and manipulate a medium repeatedly and then leave little markers of those iterations in existence, I think that's what art is. It's about the process, isn't it? Anyway, I'm getting off track. Look, there's no one in the chat to tell me to shut up and just get on with the Bears. Right, what do you want to see? You want to see some Bears? Let's talk bear number 1. We've got 8 bears. Let's get into this. Bear number 1, because it's going to take me some time otherwise. We actually want to do it. So the first thing I want to do is show you the Bears. Come on, show you the Bears. This ain't that hard, Scotty. You can do this. Fade between the two. Let's go. Right, you got me? We got bears. Our first bear, the sun bear, Ursus Malayan Ursus Malayanus is 120 centimetres. I've copied that. 120 centimetres to 150 centimetres. They weigh between 27 to 50 kilograms for a lady and 27 to 60 kilograms for Mr. Bear. That's quite, that's nearly as big as me, nearly as heavy as me. Very pretty, isn't it? The sun bear. You can see why it's called the sun bear, because that beautiful glowing yellow colouring looks like it's been kissed by the sun. Yeah, it's a very pretty bear. Sun bears have short, black, dark, brown, water-repellent fur with a yellow crescent on their chest. They've strong paws with naked soles and long sickle-shaped claws. The sickle is the the curvy farm tool for scything down corn. Little sickle. It's like a hand scythe. You can see it on the communist flag of the former United States of Communist Russia. The sickle. Those strong, long, sickle-shaped claws. A little picture break. Blimey. Okay, I don't know if that's a boy or a girl, but look at that bear having a good old bite of that coconut. I think that's a coconut, isn't it? I think it is. Whatever he or she is biting. Got some mean-looking, chompy teeth there. And there's the sickle-shaped claws. There's some big claws, aren't there? You know, they are some big claws. I'm just going to check you can still hear me. They are some big claws. Yeah. I'm just going to check you can. So, you wouldn't want that grabbing on your leg and biting on your foot. I'll tell you that. I can tell you that for nothing. Interesting picture. Sun bear. They have flexible snouts and very long tongues, which are an adaptation for extracting termites from nests. Relatively to their size, they have the largest canines of all the bear species. Canine teeth are specialised for tearing meat, flesh, but sun bears are not particularly carnivorous. Yay! It's funny, isn't it? You see something like this, and you just assume that it's a predator killer. But these big canine teeth that are known for tearing of flesh, and these big claws are actually really useful for breaking into tough nuts, and these claws are good for digging. And bears, surprisingly, even the big ones that you see on the telly doing all the fishing with the salmon, even bears of that size get the majority of their calories, proteins from vegetables and fruit. And maybe termites, which is not vegan, but, it's a bear for crying out loud. Anyway. Some bears are not particularly carnivorous. They may use their sharp canines as weapons or tools for tearing at trees to get at insects. So that is kind of carnivorous, isn't it, if you're eating insects? I don't know, is carnivore the right word for insects? Insectivore. Probably. We'll look at that another time. If it was just me on my own, which it actually is, because no one's really watching on Twitch. But don't tell them, because they might not. I don't. Anyway, look. If it was just me, I'd look it up. But what I'd have to do is I'd have to do a new window for you to look it up. No, how do I do it? I think we can, can't we? No, we'll just stay on this for now, and we'll look up words later. They mainly use their sharp canines as weapons or tools for tearing at trees. Sun bears live in Southeast Asia, Brunei, Dar es Salaam, Cambodia, China, India, Indonesia, the Lao People's Democratic Republic, Malaysia, which is why they're called Ursus Malaysian bear, Myanmar, which is Burma, Thailand. I suppose Myanmar isn't Burma, is it? We should respect their right to be called Myanmar. Thailand and Vietnam. So there we go, that's the sun bear. Oh look, photographic credit, Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre. Let's have another look at the sun bear. Because we've got to rate this bear, you've got to rank this bear. What are your criteria for ranking a bear? Well, for me, because it is going to be me that does the moving of the mouse and the dropping of the things, unless someone wants to jump into Trat, chat and start telling me what to do. I'm going to be leading the charge here. We've got to rank the bear. You know, the sun bear. We've got to rank that. And for me, I suppose, size is going to be a major criteria. Should we have a look at the tier list again? Should we switch on over there? This is the tier list. So for me, size pushes, the bigger the bear, the higher up this ranking it goes. And I'm going to say the more scared I am of the bear. I'm not really like scared. I'd love to go into the wild and see a bear in the wild. I'd love to go somewhere like North America and just, you know, encounter a bear while we're out in the woods. Obviously, I'd love for the bear to not rip my head off and to just gently go away and go about its business. But the idea, like the fear that it would put through me, like the thrill. You know, some people jump off buildings and have a parachute. Whee! Oh, God, that was thrilling. Or, you know, do a bungee jump. I don't want to do that. That would scare me, but not in a way that I'd enjoy. But seeing a bear, the majesty and the like, you know, there'd be this shock moment where you saw them for a second there. You'd be like, "Eff it, just seen a effing bear." You wouldn't shout it. You'd have to be really quiet and still, wouldn't you? Like that, and then it go through you like, "This is incredibly dangerous. I hope it doesn't rip my head off." Yeah, I'd like to see a bear in the wild, and for it to not rip my head off. So the more scary the bear, the higher up on that list that feeling, that encounter feeling would be, wasn't it? So that's how I'm ranking this. By how much shock and awe the bear could deliver if I were to stumble upon it in the wild. So we've got our sun bear, and I think this little picture here is the sun bear. I'm just going to drop him in there. It in there for now. See, I think that's the sun bear with its crest, from what we just learned. It's the smallest of all the bears, so we're going to start it down here. But it was very pretty, wasn't it? It was very pretty. That mottling of sun-kissed colouring on the front of the bear, that was very pretty. So we're going to I've just realised as well, you don't, when you're doing this streaming malarkey, you don't have very good control of your levels. I don't really know if it's loud at your end or quiet, if I'm moving away from the mic and close to it. But unless any of you start joining in with these streams, I'm not going to have people there to tell me. And I've got no way of knowing if people are watching, really. How do you know if people are watching your stream? Active mods, I've got none of them. Anyway, let's get back to the bears. So for now, we'll drop it in there. I mean, that's a pretty low ranking for a bear, but it is the smallest of the bears. It's... Should we go back and have a little look at the bear, shall we? It's the smallest of the bears. It's pretty in ways. It's got a bit of a big old neck on him, hasn't he? It has got a pretty big old neck. And you wouldn't want that grabbing on your foot. I'll tell you stories about how I had my toe bitten off by a dog another time. That's a big old bear. It's not though, it's just a little one. So we're happy with its placement. Let's move on to the next bear. Okay? The next bear. That was number 8. Number 7, bear number 7. The sloth bear. I've got to pronounce these Latin words. I did do Latin at school. That's an interesting story if you ever want to hear it. You'll have to ask me in chat. Some interesting stories about Latin in school. Malursus, Ursus, Ursinus. Malursus or Ursus. Ursinus. So Ursus must be the bear thing, mustn't it? Because this is Ursus as well. Ursus. Ursine. Bear-like. Ursus. There's two subspecies. The Sri Lankan soft bear and the Indian sloth bear. So there's subspecies of the main species. So although there are only 8 bears, we've actually got 2 in one here. Which should be why this picture is 2 in 1. Look at the little tiggy bear. Look at that little tiggy bear on top of that big bear. And that's a little tiggy bear on top of the big bear. Today's the day the teddy bears get their ranking on the tier list. That's a lovely little teddy bear. But to be fair, the full-grown sloth bear does look a bit of a mess, doesn't it? With its floppy lips, disconnected top nose section. Needs a bit of a peddy on those claws. And the fur's just sticking out everywhere like Dennis the Menace. Look at it. I used to be a hairdresser, and part of me wants to give that bear a bath, a wash, a brush, and a bit of a tidy up. So the sloth bear. They up to 140 to 190 centimetres. So the sloth bear can be bigger than me. As a male, it starts bigger than me, and it gets to twice as big as me. I mean, I'm not very good at weighing myself, so I'm guessing I'm about 70 kg. I don't know. I do not know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's like well out, because I'm not very good at things like weights. But female, smaller, 55 to 95, but still quite big. These shaggy-haired bears can be heard sucking up termites. Oh, I can hear myself in my ear there. These shaggy-haired bears can be heard sucking up termites a long distance away. Sloth bears are stocky with long, shaggy black hair and a white U or Y-shaped marking on the chest. They've large lips, a long tongue, a pale muzzle, and well-developed hook-like claws that enable them to climb trees and dig for termites. Let's have another little look. Look at that. You don't get, because there's nothing in it to give you much perspective, you don't really know how big that is, but it could be the same size as you. Bit more scary. Bit more like a bit of a dog. If I saw that in the wild, I'd be a bit more scared than the sun bear. The sun bear looked a little more docile, but this looks like it could start running at you. And the way it's got these big claws. I don't like the look of them. They look a bit dangerous. Still kind of pretty in its own way, but a raggedy-scraggedy bear. Sloth bears live in Sri Lanka, India, Bhutan, Nepal and Bangladesh. So they're more in that mountainous Asian region. Sloth bears are nocturnal and occupy home ranges that they seem happy to share with other sloth bears. That's nice, isn't it? They're not territorial, they're not fighting each other and saying, F off out of my... They're just happy to chill. Come out at night, so there's you're not likely to see them while you're walking around in the forest in the daytime, so that's not so bad, not so scary. But at night, imagine running into that at night. At night, you wouldn't even see it, would you? It's so dark. You just see the face and the teeth. Oh, I wouldn't like that. Scary old sloth bear. Oh, big nose on him as well, hasn't it? She, he, it. Big old chocky nose, big chonker. Sloth bear. Sloth bears are nocturnal. They occupy home ranges. We've said that. They range about 13 square kilometres, smaller range than other bears, probably due to the fact they don't suffer from seasonal fluctuations of food supply. Ants and termites are available all year round. So these are anteaters as well. These lovely sloth bears are just chuffing away down the ants, on the ants. Constant availability of ants and termites means they do not need to undergo a winter sleep. So they're just all, they're out all winter in the cold, chuffling away ants. That's not so bad, is it? They're not so mean. Not so mean. I mean, if you think about the bear from the Jungle Book, we're talking about a bear that lives in India, Bhutan, Nepal, these jungles. They're out all year round. They're happy to share with other sloth bears. I mean, this could be Baloo, couldn't it? Baloo could be a sloth bear. He's lazy, wasn't he, Baloo? No, I'm the king. That's the wrong song. I want to be like you. Don't get copyright strike on YouTube. Be like YouTube. But yeah, that could be Baloo. So that's pushing his rating up. Their rating up. I'm going to practice this. I'm not just going to say he for everything because I instinctively do it because I was raised in a slightly more sexist time. It's mad. I tell you what, it's mad. When you look into the history, it was only in the 90s and in the 90s and 2000s that disabled people have got full rights in our country. So I was raised in a more sexist time, even just 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Anyway, look, we're talking about bears. It's much more small, this one, the sloth bear. Eats ants and termites. It could be Baloo. So we're going to fade across to the tier list. We're going to select the sloth bear, which is this one, isn't it? This is the sloth bear. Now, we've already got a marker down. Sun bear. So is the sloth bear better or worse than the sun bear? What do you think? What do you think? I want to know your opinion, but you won't tell me because you're not right here in the chat right now. So I'm going to have to just guess what you think. And I think you think that the sun bear is still slightly better, even though the sloth bear could be Baloo. Maybe the sun bear could be Baloo. Although Baloo was much bigger than Mowgli, but Mowgli was little. So we're going to push up the sun bear one, and we're going to leave the sloth bear down there. That's what we're doing. I think we're happy with that. Let's move up a bear. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. You're going to want me to fade to the bears. Oh, big hitter now, look. Panda bear, number 6. What do I need to say about the panda bear that you don't already know? It's a Latin name for a start. Which is not Ursus anything. So it's Aeluropoda melanoleuca. Aeluropoda melanoleuca. Yeah, it's a panda bear. It's 5 foot. 5 foot. Panda, 5 foot. I thought they'd get bigger than that. 5 foot, 6-inch tail. It weighs about 250 pounds. Starting to get heavier now, aren't they, these bears? 113 kilograms. Or 100 kilograms for a female. 220 pounds. I haven't been doing the weights in American. Sorry. What did I say that for? It's not American, is it? The pounds. It's called imperial measurement. Because of the empire. The British Empire. Anyway, I'm not doing it in British measurements. I'm doing it in metric because I started in metric. Anyway, look, 100 kilogram or 220 pounds for females. The giant panda is a rare, endangered and elusive bear. Science used to believe the giant panda was a member of the raccoon family. With DNA analysis, science proved itself wrong. I mean, how could you think that was a raccoon? Because the colour of it, you thought that's more likely. I mean, just Let's have a little look at this. When scientists discovered this bear, they thought that was more likely to be a raccoon than a bear because of the colour of it. I mean, I'm assuming the colour of it. I'm assuming it wasn't some other behaviour that raccoons share with pandas. And that's a bear, isn't it? Look at it. It's a bear. It's got the big feet, ears, the eyes, big teeth, big tubby bear. It's a bear. Definitely a bear. I'm telling you. With DNA analysis, science proved itself wrong. The giant panda and red panda are not related. Alright. Giant pandas are famous for their love of bamboo, a diet so nutritionally poor that pandas have to consume up to 20 kilograms each day. The extra digit on the panda's hand helps them to tear the bamboo. They got an extra digit, they got an extra finger. Didn't know that. Helps them to tear the bamboo, and their gut is covered with a thick layer of mucus to protect against splinters. Blimey, so bamboo is not nutritionally valuable, like it says it's nutritionally poor, hurts their insides, so they have to develop this thick layer of mucus, and they have to eat 20 kilograms of it a day. I wonder what it's like pooping out 20 kilograms of bamboo every day. No wonder they're going extinct. I mean, wouldn't they prefer eating, like, apples? Anyway, they've got to consume 20 kilograms of these bamboo sticks and shoots a day. Wow. Habitat loss is the greatest cause of the giant panda's decline. That's because they're eating it all. 20 kilograms a day. And today their range is restricted to 6 separate mountain ranges. I joke, but of course it's not because they're eating it all. They're restricted to 6 separate mountain ranges in western China. That's quite, like, when you think about that, there's 6 places on Earth that these pandas still exist in the wild. 6. And they're all in western China. So you've got to hope the Chinese are going to have a decent attitude towards animals and animal conservation. We've got to hope they develop that. A giant panda is born pink, hairless and blind, like most animals. See, I said something that wasn't even rude there, didn't I? Could have said something rude about something pink, hairless and blind. Anyway, look, a giant panda is born pink, hairless and blind and is 1/900th of the size of its mother. Teeny weeny little pandy. Unlike other bears, giant pandas do not hibernate. In the winter, they move to lower elevations to keep warm, while travelling to higher elevations in the summer to stay cool. They can keep warm... Sorry, my reading skills. They can be active at any time of the day or night. So you could, the giant pandas don't have a schedule. They're just up and down, doing what they like, anytime, day or night. Too hot, I'm up the mountain. Too cold, I'm coming down. Chuffing around and constantly munching on bamboo. So if you saw that fella in the wild, fellas, non-gender specific fell. If you saw a panda in the wild, then you'd be like, hey, look at it, chuffing its bamboo. Wouldn't expect it to bite your legs. Yeah, nice. Not horrid, nice. Shame they're getting driven out of existence by people tearing up their environment, isn't it? That's the little titty pandies. Got no sense of how big they are because there's nothing in the shot to show you context, but they're little. Little titty pandies. They've got hair now though, so they're not freshly born, are they? Some more pictures of the pandas here. Look, there's another one. Hey, look at that. Look at that chappy. Chapess. Non-gendered cha. She is chewing some bamboo in this picture. Holding a stick of bamboo. It's probably they're always doing that. It looks posed, but they're probably always doing that, aren't they? Because they're eating 20 kilograms of it a day. That's it. That's the thing they're eating. Get the pandas some better foods. That's what they're into, isn't it? It's what they're into. They like that bamboo. That's their thing. So that's just how it rolls. That's how it goes. Where are we going to rank the panda? Where would you rank the panda? Are you going to get joining in chat? pop up in chat and tell me. Fade between the two. I have to talk through my mental process. I'm not agile mentally enough these days to do things without talking it through. Let's just check you can still hear me, eh? On the old tier. Let's just check you can still hear me, eh? Yeah. On the old tier. Let's just check you can still hear me. Pandy bear. It's got to be quite high, hasn't it? It's not going to eat you. It's going to be wonderful to see it in the wild. It's not going to thrill you like shock and awe, although you might get an extra thrill by the fact that there's so few in the wild. But you're going to be very unlikely to get to China to see them, are you? And they make me sad in a way because I can't help but think about all the... I mean, the WWF used that pandy as their logo for a long while, didn't they? Still do, probably. And every time I see it, I can't help but think about animal welfare concerns that kind of make me a bit sad and a bit ashamed, or shame, to feel the shame for humanity. So there is that tinge of sadness with the panda. That tinge of sadness. Not that many left in the wild, and it's because of the things we've done. Shame. So he gets a B for me. I don't know why S is on top. Why S? What is S? A for me is A. Can we change that? S. Yeah, we can have A star. That was the only I did. Oh, I see. That's why AAA games are called AAA. You just keep adding A's and making it better. A star. I'll do it. A star, yeah. That's what we want. Right, so pandies are getting a B. We're happy with that. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? Well, get in chat and tell me. Where are we at now? We're going to switch back over to the bears, aren't we? Every time that fades, it goes real smooth on the program, on OBS. It smoothly slides over, but on my computer, I have to click and move and choose which window. It'd be nice if it did the smooth moving for me as well. That was pandas. Bear number 6. Bear number 5. So we're getting through this. I might have to have a break. We'll do 4, and not have to. Doesn't matter. There's no one watching me. I can just edit the break out for YouTube. But that's not to say that watching this on YouTube is better. You might want to join in on Twitch. Asiatic black. No, where we are. Andean bear. I used to know a girl called Andy. A game designer, a coder. A really cool, excellent person. So when I saw Andean, then that's what I thought of her. So that got a sort of positive, instinctive reaction from me. Or the speckled bear. Tremar. Why don't they make the Latin names easy to remember and say? Why don't they just now, after all these years, because who's speaking Latin these days? After all these years, right? They should just say, look, we're changing the Latin names and all this stuff because nobody uses it anymore. We're just going to put the Latin names as today's names, like spectacled bear or whatever, and then you just be like, oh right, okay, that's fine. Doesn't bother me. I'm not going to be angry at the loss of the Latin. You can keep the Latin names in all your really formal textbooks and stuff, but yeah, and we move on from there, just using more modern names for things. I suppose that's what they did, didn't they? That's why they called it the spectacle bear, not Tremarcotos, Orantus, Ornatus, Ornatus. Most scientists refer to speckled bears as Andean bears. They're found only in the Andes Mountains and South America. So we're jumping continents now, from China and the Asian continent, where those first bears were found, all the way over the sea to this part of America, of the Americas, South America. And that's quite a way for the bear to range through, quite a distance. It's all mountains. These bears all seem to be hanging out in mountains, up the mountains. They probably effed off up there because of all the people everywhere else spoiling the place. The Andean bear is the last remaining short-faced bear. The bears are an endangered species listed as vulnerable it's illegal to kill them. They're the closest living relative to the Florida speckled bear and short-faced bears of the middle Pleistocene to late Pleistocene age. Speckled bears are the only surviving species of bear native to South America and the only surviving member of the family Tremarctinae. The speckled bear is technically the largest land carnivore on that continent, although as little as 5% of its diet is composed of meat. You see what I mean? I said this earlier, didn't I? It's a carnivore and it's a bear. So you think it's eating a lot of flesh, a lot of animals, it's a predator. It's not. 5% of its diet is composed of meat. South America's largest obligate carnivore is the jaguar. Just says that in there. But I'll tell you what, it looks as equally scary to me as a jaguar. I mean, jaguar looks agile and rah, but if you saw that and you were just chuffing around on a mountain, walking, having a little, having your okay, we're stopping and having our picnic. We're going to sit down, get the camera out, and you look around, and this chuffer's coming up. You can smell your jam sandwiches. You'd be like, hello. Hello. It's just, there's an air of menace about it. An air of menace. It's these spectacles and that stripey on the face. The purposeful look. There's weight to it as well. You can tell, can't you? There's weight to that bear. But it looks a bit more agile than some of the others and a bit more menacing. Spectacled bear, Andean bear. How big is it? The others told you how big they were straight away, and this one's put it at the bottom. Males can weigh 100 to 200 kilograms, 220 to 440 pounds. Females a bit smaller than that, 35 to 82 kilograms, 77 to 181 pounds. I suppose their weight varies depending on how much food's around, what time of year it is. But easily twice as big, like 400 pounds. Could you imagine a 400 pound one of these? It's like a giant dog, isn't it? Like a giant dog. Rah. Very, very pretty. Very good looker. Big old bear. The spectacled bear is technically the largest land carnivore on the continent, although as little 5% of its diet is composed of meat. South America's largest obligate carnivore is the jaguar. So jaguars get bigger than that. Oh no, this is technically the largest. But the largest is the only eats meat is the jaguar. Right, got you. Among South America's so what it's saying is that obligate carnivore, it has to eat animals and flesh, but this bear doesn't, so it doesn't have to eat it. It only has 5% of its diet. It's amazing how you can get so big and chunky from just 5% animal product, isn't it? Among South America's, I suppose they might eat termites. Look, let's get on with this. I'm trying to read through it for you. Among South America's extant native animals, extant. I'm going to have to look that one up. Extant, does that mean just existing? Copy. I'm going to do this in another window so you won't see. But I'm still going to do it. I'll have to find out. Paste. Still in existence, surviving, extant. I haven't seen that word used before, I don't think. Extant. Anyway, among America's native land animals, only the bears and South American tapirs are heavier than this species, so it's really big and heavy. The spectacled bear is a mid-sized species of bear. Overall, its fur is blackish in colour, although bears may vary from jet black to dark brown and to even a reddish hue. The species typically has distinctive beige-coloured markings across its face and upper chest, although not all spectacled bears have spectacle markings. The face... this block of text is hard to read. The pattern and extent of pale markings are slightly different on each individual bear, and bears can be readily distinguished by this. Males are a third larger than females in dimensions, and sometimes twice their weight. Males can weigh 100 to 200 kilograms, we've done that, but massive, isn't it? 200 kilo coming at you, boo, boo, boo. 400 pound, boo, boo, boo. Yeah, man, yeah. A tail length of 7 centimetres. Only a little tail, little stubber of a tail, so you can't grab it by the tail. You ain't grabbing that 7 centimetre tail, that's no advantage to you. And shoulder height from 60 to 90 centimetres. Oh, I see, shoulder, not stood upright, but like on the ground. On the ground, on all fours, 90 centimetres off the ground, a metre high. Chonking at you with 440 pounds of... Compared to other living bears, this species has a more rounded face with a relatively short and broad snout. In some extinct species of the Tremor subfamily, this facial structure has been thought to be an adaptation to a largely carnivorous diet, despite the modern spectacled bear's herbivorous dietary preferences. So they think this guy or girl evolved this snout, stubby snout, because of roughing and fighting and eating animals, and that they just went off the animals and started eating more plants. I mean, maybe they were more carnivorous in their early ancestry, who knows. Maybe. Big old bear. We've got to rate this Andean bear. We've got to rate this. There's some big bears coming up, bear in mind. There's some big bears coming up. So let's rate this Andean bear. And then I'm going to take a little break, I think. Because it's not going to disappoint anyone live. As no one's watching on Twitch. Why would you stream to nobody? Why would you stream to nobody? I'll tell you, it's absolutely fantastic, this streaming setup. I've only got the roughest setup, but I've had so much trouble this last year trying to record YouTube videos, content, stuff like that. Various reasons, which I'm not going to go into every single time I talk about it, but this setup, is it recording it for me on the internet? You know, Twitch is recording this for me. So that's pretty badass. And then I can download that and then I can just edit it and whack it on YouTube. So it makes my life really a lot easier in some way. So why would I speak to nobody? Because I'm not, am I? You see, I'm speaking to you in the future from the past. But you can be here in the past, in the future, if you join us on Twitch. Ganji Kid on Twitch. Maybe now, maybe I'm there now. When you're watching this in the future, which will be today, present, not here that I am today, but today, the present, but where you are today, the present, but like live, where you are today, the present, but like live, where you are today, the present, but like live, where you are today, the present, but like live, where you are today, the present, but like live, where you are today, the present, but like live, where you are today, the present, but now, like live, where you are today, the present, but now, like live, where you are today, the present, but now, like live, where you are today, the present, but so we're still live. We're rating this bear. So what am I doing? What am I trying to? Can you hear me? You can hear me. We're rating a spectacled bear, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bears left to choose from. I've got to guess which one's the spectacled bear. Pretty sure I got these right so far. I think it's this one, isn't it, with the golden marking on its face, looking like a big chonker. So spectacled bear. First of all, it was South American, So am I likely to see it? Not likely, but if I did see it, I'd have to be up a South American mountain. So that would be interesting. So it's similar to the panda in that aspect, is you're not so likely to see it. It's quite a special bear. Quite a big bear as well, isn't it? Quite a big bear, which is one of the things I said I was going to rank it on. If you saw that chonker in the wild coming at you, just want to have another look at the bear while we're doing the old judging a bear. Not judging me. People should judge everyone. They're judging all the time. People just like to judge. Judging people all the time. Well, here we are, judging. Tier list is just a judgment program, isn't it? A program for dishing out your judgments. So it's obviously not too bad to judge things, is it? People quite enjoy it, don't they? I don't know, are you enjoying this? Judging these poor bears? Anyway, look, if that was coming at you, big dog, it's almost dog-like, isn't it? It's almost canine. Which to me knocks it down a level. Like the panda is so beary. We are judging bears, we're not judging dogs. So like, the panda is such a bear. This is like, is that a bear? I mean, it is a bear, but what's going on? It's almost like a thundercatty kind of bear. Catty kind of bear, yeah. Catty bear. Now to you that might be a positive. You know? Great big 400-pound cat. Might be a positive. Pretty scary. Scarier than the panda. More fearsome than the panda, isn't it? Quite, mainly herbivorous. Mainly herbivorous. But, let's switch back to tier lists. Yeah, let's switch back to tier lists. And we're going to rate the bear. We're going to rate it below the panda. I'm going to just pop him in there. Her, it. Scraggy feline. Above the sun bear, we've got the sloth bear at the bottom there. Panda's in B tier here. We've still got some space at the top here because we know there are going to be some big bears to come. Some real big bears to come. And they're going to dominate that top slot. And we've still got a space for a really rubbish bear if we were to come across one. But there isn't anything that rubbish. Is there? They're all kind of good in their own way. They've all got their qualities. There's something beautiful about them all. And each and every one of them would scare the living poopies out of you if it fell in your bed at night. Like if it came through the roof, if there was one in your attic and like it just like slipped through the floor, but crump, bang, and it was on your bed, you're like, that would shake you up. I didn't swear, try not to swear for the old Twitch, but that would shiver you up, wouldn't it? That would put the shivers down you. Yeah, all of them. So they've all got that quality to them. So that's good. So this is all working really well, isn't it? This stream. Let's take a little. I haven't got another window to fade to, so I haven't got anything else to fade away from this to for just chatting. Unless I start like messing with it. Should I mess with it a bit? Hang on. Make my face big. Right, you can't. I'm not doing it. It's not. You're not seeing live messing. I'm doing it separately on a different window, professionally. Right, so I've made my face big. And then I'm going to put my face at the top. So, edit, order, move to top. There's my face on top. Right, I'm going to fade to my face. And I haven't picked the hair out the middle of my eyebrow, or like I haven't prepared my hair. Or I'm going to fade to my face. You ready? Let's go. There's my face. You've seen it before. I mean, you've seen it in little down in the corner while we've been talking, so it's not new to you. But maybe now that it's a bit bigger, it's a bit more of a shock, a bit like those bears. what we're doing is I'm going to take a small break. There's no one live, so you're not concerned. And in the world of YouTube, there won't be a break because I'll just appear again, like, continually. But yeah, I'm going to take a super small break, so I'm not sitting down for such a long period of time. And I encourage you to do the same, unless you're in bed about to go to sleep, in which case don't. There's no point in taking a break from that and moving around. But if you're not, then get up, move around, shake your legs off, shake your head off. You know, don't just stare at the screen and sit there all the time. That's bad. Even though it's good for me, if you stare at my screen, don't. And join me for part 2 of Just Chatting Bears, which will be equally as fantastic as part 1, if not better, because the size of the bears and the magnitude of the bears is going to increase in amplitude. I don't know if you can use amplitude in that context. Anyway, the bears are going to get bigger, aren't they? So you're going to want to come back for that. Alright, be good. I've got a stream starting soon screen that I'm going to switch to. I'm just going to leave the stream rolling because it's a lot easier for me. So, you ready for this? Stream starting soon, stream, screen, fade. And I'll see you again in a little minute.